Coffee was started in 22. Until 2019, I had only 10 cups of coffee in my life.
In your lifetime 10 coffee और decide किया coffee shop खोलेंगे. Wow.
We launched Versova on 2nd of June 2022. And the idea was again simple, 60 square feet, 2 baristas, coffee machine, high quality coffee. We had solved all of those. On the very first day of the launch, it broke down.
It broke down the first day.
I had no clue what to do next.
The branding is something which is seen from far. Like, hello, why are there green mugs in everyone's hand? It was previously not the same, right? What made you change this entire branding for Up Coffee?
I'll give you a very honest take on this. One of the largest coffee chains in the country comes with their leadership to one of our outlets. I'll not take names. Forgetting that there are cameras in the stores, starts talking to our baristas, trying to peep inside the counter, picking our tables and chairs and opening the screw to figure out what's the cost.
You will make people stutter when they see this podcast because they're going to be like, okay, our secret is out. Say a competitor comes in and opens their outlet right next to Up Coffee. Same model. What is Abhijeet going to do then? Top 3 reasons you can become a 1,000 crore company and how soon can you become a 1,000 crore company? What happens if the largest American coffee company comes and wants to buy Up Coffee? Welcome back to Find Out with Ragini. And guys, today's episode is one I have been waiting to record for a very, very long time. So here's a confession. My first ever message to today's guest was, I absolutely love the matcha you make. I'm a big fan. That's it. That's how it started. Because here's the thing. I walk into my office every single day and there are already 6 to 7 Up Coffee cups on the table. Every single day. And I'll be honest with you. The matcha got me so addicted that someone on my team actually had to tell me to slow down. That's the kind of hold this brand has on me. So when I say I'm excited about today's guest, I mean it in the most personal way possible. Today, Up Coffee has a subscription model, is tech-enabled, has protein coffee, and a neon green army taking over Mumbai. Thank you so much, Abhijeet, for being here on Find Out with Ragini. I am dressed up in Up Coffee colors. I want to personally thank you for making me addicted to the matcha coffee of Up Coffee. I actually messaged you, I think for everyone who's listening. My first message to Abhijeet was, hi, I love your products and I'm a big fan. I think when I enter office at 10 a.m. in the morning, we have 6 to 7 cups of Up Coffee there every day. So I think you've built, what you're building is resonating with the masses for sure. In a country which is a chai drinking country first, I come from Assam, so I am a little biased. What made you start coffee?
Ragini, first of all, thank you for having me on your podcast today. You come from Assam, I come from Bihar.
Okay.
Until 2019, Up Coffee was started in 22. Until 2019, I had only 10 cups of coffee in my life.
In your lifetime 10 coffee और decide किया coffee shop खोलेंगे. Wow.
So then the magic happened in 2019. So I moved to Romania, that's an Eastern European country.
Right.
And my religion converted. I moved from a chai drinker to a coffee drinker.
That's blasphemy. But what happened there?
So what happened was, probably like every Indian, you and me, and I lived in Assam for a couple of years, right? So I have a very strong feeling with
chai.
Chai. And Assam as well, to be honest. And chai. So when I moved there, I used to brew tea in our traditional way, masala chai, and I have a particular way of brewing tea. I still brew every Sunday morning tea for my family. So I used to brew tea for my friends there, right? So everybody not from India. What the Desh Bhakt inside me.
Chai to पीना ही है हम.
Chai to पीना या पिलाना भी है.
Correct. Okay.
Right. So I'll invite them. I used to have in our office as well. We used to have a setup where I got the
chalni and everything for
correct.
Making the chai.
I got it, and I used to brew once upon a time, and weekends pay for friends. The reverse was happening on the other side. Reverse was that my friends used to have a 8 a.m. morning Americano. Okay. Right. In fact, one of my very close friends, David, to take the name, used to have espresso shots. And he used to drink 12 espresso shots in a day.
Okay.
Right.
He had too much energy to do that. Like, great.
Yeah, the guy was phenomenal. The guy is phenomenal. So, and then I will introduce tea to them and they will introduce coffee to me. Eventually, over a couple of weeks, coffee did its magic, right? And I have a saying from that came out. There is life before and after coffee. After is better.
After is better. Okay.
Right. So that happened, and then I became a very diehard coffee person for several reasons that was accounted to me at that point in time. Right. And then I moved back to India in 21. And I moved back to start a business of my own, coming out from oil and gas industry after working 9 years there. And I did not want to start coffee. So I moved back with some other idea, right? I wanted to do wine.
So when you moved from there, you knew that you want to start something of your own.
That was clear.
That was wine that you wanted to start.
I wanted to start wine,
Okay.
right? So that was the idea that I thought that there's that problem in the country where good quality wine at a right price is not available for the masses, and people have started to drink different kind of spirits. But then it took me 15 days to realize that is not my forte. I'm a first generation entrepreneur. The blood and sweat of an entrepreneur will not be able to solve the alcohol business by himself. Right?
Just 15 days mein give up kar diya?
I checked the regulatory requirements. I checked everything, and while I come from oil and gas, so I solved supply chain, I solved procurement, I solved costing. I knew how I can make the business work. I had the financial model made, but those 15 days on the ground told me it's an extremely difficult problem, and
Very
just the
much
blood and sweat.
bureaucratic.
Too many other reasons associated with the spirit business. The second thing, my second love in life was coffee, right? And then what happened was in the first month, at that point in time, I used to be in the Navi Mumbai side of Mumbai. I spent $24,000 drinking coffee. I drink thrice a day.
In a month.
In a month, right? So I drink
घर
thrice a
वालों
day.
ने कुछ बोला नहीं था जब ये बोला था कि अब मैं पहले दारू बनाऊंगा फिर
घर वालों को कुछ नहीं बताया.
अच्छा okay that's for another day I think that's another podcast कि घर वालों ने क्या बोला फिर क्या हुआ
घर वालों की story बहुत बात शुरू होती है इसमें. When I told them I'm leaving and I'm starting on my own. But yeah, then that happened, and then the immediate response was, this is a lot of money I'm spending on my coffee. And then I checked my bills from what I used to spend in Romania, and I was spending similar amount there. First question that came into my mind was, why is a cup of coffee in India priced same as that in the Europe and the US?
Interesting.
So a cup of cappuccino in India at that point in time, and you can thank Up Coffee that now it has become more affordable 4 years later. But then a cup of coffee cappuccino in India on an average was 240 rupees.
And what do you sell it on? For
97.
97.
That's right. It's
Okay.
single origin specialty grade coffee at 97.
That's like less than half of what
One
you
third.
were. One
Almost,
third, yes.
almost. So, and I'll tell you how, right? So in the US, it was also 260 rupees by Indian terms. In Europe, it was 280 rupees by Indian terms. But by PPP, which is purchase price parity, if something is 270 in the US or 260 in the US, it should have been 94 to 95 rupees.
In India.
In India. That was not true for coffee, right? It was the same. So then the question happened, the automatic question came in, probably we have a supply problem. Lesser cost, lesser material available, hence the prices are inflated. That was also not true. We are the 5th largest producer of coffee, 7th largest exporter of coffee in the world.
Exporter also, and also making coffee, and still our price was so high.
Right?
Is it because the demand was so high, or is it because...
Demand is not so high. We rank 59th in the world in terms of per capita coffee consumption, which means we're not consuming enough. Coffee is available in surplus, and we have so much that we are exporting. There is absolutely no reason on earth why such a product should not match the PPP price in India. And then I started digging into it.
You will make people stutter when they see this podcast because they're going to be like, okay, our secret is out. Okay, what happened towards that?
I think people should know about it, right? I think many a times, like you said, in India, there's a perception that mehenga hai to acha hai, right? That's true for many things. There are things which are costly, and they are costly because of the virtue of the ingredients. Coffee is not one of the things that should be costly because it's a daily habit product, right? Now, coming back to that thing, so then I realized I started looking into the businesses in the country, right? And I realized coffee in India was not positioned as a daily habit product. Coffee in India was positioned as a luxury product, right?
And that, I think in 2021, it was just Starbucks and Blue Tokai was just starting out, or it was already there in the
Starbucks
market?
is there in India since 2012. Blue Tokai is there since 2014. So they've been there in the business for a long period of time. They were newer Indian brands which came in. But the way everybody was solving before Up Coffee was that I have a space, and by the way, you can have coffee, right? So it was not the coffee company, it was a by the way coffee company.
Yeah, so what I've read it was more of a third space.
That's correct.
Right? That is what people used to call them. It's a third space where you
Still
can
do.
go, yeah, you can go chill and then you can order coffee. So is it true? Or is my inference true that when you go to a Starbucks, you go there to chill, and this is what we were discussing before you came, and then by the way you order coffee. So you can also order tea, you can also order matcha, you can order multiple things. So not necessarily the coffee input is high when you sit there. Is it true?
So I won't comment on a brand, but I'll
Okay.
comment on the space,
Okay.
right? So a cafe company or a cafe space, call it as a 2,000 square feet space with 16-20 odd tables and chairs, it's a table turn business, right? And by the way, you can sell anything. Because
Exactly, you can, right? It's not necessarily selling coffee, is it? Okay.
right? So in that case, the business model is skewed such that because now you are competing for the same space, your input costs are so high that your end product needs to be inflated in order to make the business work.
Right.
Now, in a country like India, which is not a coffee drinking country, right? I'll come to the China story later. But now India is not a coffee drinking country, like you said. It's a tea drinking native country. How will the coffee adoption grow up? It's a chicken and egg problem. Not enough people are drinking coffee because the prices are so high. Now the cafes won't reduce the prices because not enough people are drinking coffee because the table turns are not fast. There's a chicken and egg problem that went through. So the problem in India of coffee consumption was not that there's not enough coffee or why is it expensive is not enough coffee is because the way coffee was sold in India, right? So the idea was extremely simple to build a coffee company, which is a habit company, right? Where I come in, if you want to drink a cup of coffee, feel free as a part of your daily life, that's where coffee comes in. Right? So that is how I got converted from a oil digger who used to dig oil to run the GDP of the country to sell coffee to run the people who run the GDP of the country.
Amazing. So what was the game plan? The first day of starting Up Coffee look like? And was it bootstrapped initially?
Yes, it was bootstrapped for first 7 months, right? And obviously had a lot of different plans that when I started, but what I jot them down to was an MVP, right? And a lot of things broke on the very first day. So the idea was...
Talk about it. We want to know about your failures as well in this podcast, because then when people who are listening and they want to start out, they know the mistake they shouldn't make.
So I'll start with that, right? So this is Diwali 2021, right? And 6 months of me thinking about the company. By this time, I've traveled 20 cities, 12 states, talked to thousands of people. That's not a Abhijeet problem, it's a country problem that a great cup of coffee is not available at a daily pricing, right? Now, at that point in time, I used to do something called as thinking triplet.
Okay.
So what I used to do is, and this was inspired from Bill Gates. What I used to do, he does 14 days. I don't know if he still does it today, but he used to do 14 days, and that's how I got inspired. So what I used to do since 2019, I'd started this. I used to take 3 days out for myself, disconnected from the world, and I'll think on a problem of what's ahead, right? So this is Diwali.
Pertaining to your business?
No, pertaining to me.
Just anything?
Pertaining to me.
Pertaining to you. All right.
Remember you asked me one question that when you moved back to India, you wanted to start a business and that was clear. So this was decided in Tinsukia.
Oh, wow. Close neighbors. Amazing.
In 2016.
That coffee shuru karenge ya business shuru karenge?
Business shuru karenge. And that will start in 21.
Okay.
Again, based on certain parameters in life, I need to build financial independence, I need to do this, I need to do that. And I thought the right year is 21. Obviously, I didn't start in 21, I did in 22, right? So there was a history associated to it. So in that thinking triplet, what I distanced myself was, Abhijeet, ye karna hai ki nahi karna hai? Because I am at my peak of my corporate career. I've spent 9.5 years. That year, I was awarded the International Young Professional Energy Industry. So that industry was running in my veins, right? And then for 6 months, I was sitting, karna hai ki nahi karna hai? So I took those 3 days in those thinking triplet, and I decided this is the time. I have decided 5 years back that I need to do this. I have the idea, I have the validation, I need to start. So in those days, I decided an MVP. MVP was extremely simple. MVP was, I'm going to have a 60 square feet high street location, which is going to have a coffee machine, a trained barista. We're going to do single origin specialty coffee. The prices will be 97 for a cappuccino. There's a mystery why it's 7. I'll come to that. It will be 97 for a cappuccino. And there will be tech play from the very first day.
Okay.
So these were the to-dos.
The parameters that you had already decided, this is how I'm going to run.
I'm going to run. The date was decided was April. This is still Diwali 21. April 22 is when I said I'm going to start. 30th March, I remember, I put down my papers and I said, this is the time I'm going to go. A lot of stories happened in between. And then February and March and April were the days when I was in Mumbai. I used to have a car. I took the car and I went to every street of Mumbai, driving by myself to learn Mumbai real estate market. And then I zeroed down on one location in Versova, which is in Aram Nagar near 7 bungalows. And I said, ye dukaan hai, this is where I'm going to do it.
Is it because of the celebrities? What made you choose that location? Because you could have chosen anything. You could have chosen South Bombay also.
Rental.
Rental, okay.
Right? There has to be a particular revenue coming out of it through a rent revenue ratio. And I said, this rental fits well. It's my money. It's bootstrapped. I need to make sure this location really works well. So it was that. And the space was perfect. It was 54 square feet. My mind was 60. It was perfect. It was in a good location. It used to have a young crowd, which means people will appreciate the value proposition, and people drink a lot of coffee in Andheri West. Versova is in the vicinity.
How did you know? You were sitting there and counting the number of people walking in and walking out? Seriously, you were? What were you doing?
I have had 21 coffees in a day. So I have hopped to almost every Mumbai cafe in those days and had an espresso shot. Not every that I was able to complete.
Of course, but you just wanted to understand the vibe, the people,
I'll count the bills. I worked in those days, in 21, I used to work night shifts. So after my job, 8 p.m.
And so you would require those many cup of coffees to stay awake.
So I'll do this night shift at the cafes to learn the business.
Right. So you're counting the number of people walking in, you're counting the number of bills. That's like a really good hack to know, to understand whether this business is going to work or not. And what were your learnings then?
Some of the things are very simple, right? Some of the things was that what is the beverage? If you ask majority of the people, what do you drink? They'll end up saying cappuccino.
Right.
And if you ask them what's cappuccino, I can guarantee you 98 out of 100 people won't know, right? Like it is 1/3 foam, 1/3 milk, 1/3 espresso, right? If you ask them the difference between a cappuccino and a latte, 90 out of 100 people won't know, right? Why cappuccino? For simple reason that cappuccino is the most marketed word in terms when it comes to coffee. So
and you don't even want to feel bad when you walk into a Starbucks, because I think that entire space, it's scary for people who don't know how to pronounce these words, because there was a person in our office and he asked me, what is tall? What is grande? I'm going on a date. Can you explain that to me? I don't know. What should I go and speak to? This actually happened with me. So I was making him sit. We opened the Starbucks website and I was telling him, this is tall, this is grande, this is cappuccino, and this is how you do. So I totally understand where it comes from.
So I'll give you a funny story. I remember 2015, I first went to Starbucks. I was 2 years out of college into work, and I was on a date. And I went to the Starbucks counter and I said, "Kaun si coffee badhiya hai?" I remember that instance because I couldn't read. I couldn't understand. I don't know what's macchiato, what's cortado, what's cappuccino. I had no clue. I said, "Achhi coffee chahiye, strong honi chahiye, meaty chahiye."
That's what you went and said that.
I did that, right? And I remember the person I was with, she said, whatever you get, just get in brown sugar. Right? So,
that was the education that folks had at that particular point of time. Amazing.
And now me running coffee business, right? But I'm just telling you the history. So now going back to that particular, going back to the MVP, right? So the idea was simple. This is what I'm going to do. And then Versova was locked in. We launched Versova on 2nd of June, 2022. And the idea was again simple, 60 square feet, 2 baristas, coffee machine, high quality coffee. We had solved all of those. On the very first day of the launch, we had an app, online ordering system, right? Where you can place an order on the web and the order will land on the store. It broke down.
It broke down the first day?
First day.
Okay.
And I remember leaving the Versova shop. The last thing that we had done in that shop was at 3:30 a.m. in the morning, and I had put up the menu board. And I was leaving home and the launch was next day at 10 a.m. Same day, 10 a.m. So I come in at 10 a.m. The web link is broken.
Murphy's
I'm placing
law.
the order, it's not landing.
It's Murphy's law, right? Whatever is supposed to break will break.
Will break. No, but that's not the worst thing yet. Second thing that broke, we were using a point of sale system where you'll punch the orders. That also broke.
It's just the starting day of your business.
Right? So the point of system is broken. I'm all by myself. I have 2 interns with me, whom we have started the entire show, and I have 2 baristas behind the counter. And we have 40-50 people as first guests to be coming to the store. It's a new launch altogether. I had no clue what to do next. I went to the same old school system. Imagine, we today have 54% of our orders from abcoffee app, fully digital stack. Then, first day, we had envisioned it, but it broke. What did we do? We went up and bought a memo book.
Literally writing bills and checks, and people were walking in. Oh God, that must have been a terrible experience for you. Did you feel disheartened by that?
No, so I was shocked, right? So because my expectations didn't meet, but I could do nothing. And like probably every entrepreneur in the world, what will you do? You look for the next. This is broken. This is where I am. What do I do next?
How do I save this?
How do I save this? So the immediate solution was get a memo book. Let's have this. We plugged in into the thing. We served almost 140, 150 odd coffees on the very first day.
What was your expectation the first day? इतने coffee cup तो बिकने चाहिए.
कोई expectation नहीं था Ragini. Again, an oil guy selling coffee in a 50 square feet shop, trying to say that a good cup of coffee can be $100. But I had no expectation. Only thing was I'll go up there, I'll show up myself, and we'll figure it out. Right. So that thing broke on the very first day. Not just that, a lot of things happened. Like I had to step in to take the orders. I couldn't meet the people who had come to say hi on the very first day. But then,
was it word of mouth? How did you get most of
friends
your
and family was the first. First day was friends and family.
I think that's the toughest nut to crack, right? Friends and family will go and speak bullshit about your product in the first day rather than the customers who don't know you. Do you agree to that?
I agree. I agree. The first, I was actually thinking last week, I'll come to that point and probably make this analogy. I was thinking the first week. So the first 2 months, I was in Versova store. There was no other store. I was just there from morning 7 a.m. to night 12 in the midnight, right? I was just there with my barista, sitting out there in the open space, working from there. What I realized is, on the very first 2 months, every customer I met are my friends today.
Wow, amazing.
And they are the biggest brand ambassadors. And these are your actors and creators who come from all part of the country. And Versova is a unique location in that, right? They land up in Aramnagar, they live there. They eventually became my friends. The first photo shoots in 22, 23, in fact in 2024, are none but them.
The friends coming up, shooting, and...
the customers who became friends. And
word of mouth marketing.
And who became brand ambassadors. And word of mouth marketing. We spent nothing on brand marketing. We even still don't do today. Right? Because we believe we are a habitual product, a daily habit product. Let a product do the talking. How can I bring it to more people and let them be the advocates? We believed in that. I was just thinking a week back that I think the biggest win that we had in the at the start of Coffee was to have these ambassadors whom we never had to pay, who came because they found a value proposition, who loved the value proposition, who loved the story and said, here is a brand who are trying to be a rebel, who are trying to break the theory that a great cup of coffee needs to be 300 rupees, who is trying to break the theory that coffee can only be had in a third space, and is saying that coffee can be a daily habit.
Now, this is a very interesting thing that you have told me, and now I have a question for you. Cost versus product versus space. What makes a coffee company win?
Cost, product, space. So, product is hygiene. So if you're a small scale outlet, right, like 5, 7, 10, you can run it all by yourself. So in that case, the product is the sole winner, right? But then as you scale, there has to be a marriage between product quality, which is hygiene, which means you expect the product to be as such and just be consistent around
Consistent is very important, right?
A great quality product is hygiene. There is no second thought to that, right? Now, making it consistent is key at a network or at a scale level. So now I'll rule out product. Product has to be hygiene. Now then comes cost. Now, in our theory, for a product to become habit, you need 3 things. Number 1, it has to be a great quality product. Number 2, it has to be at a daily pricing, which you can buy mindlessly, right? And third, you have to be available widely. Now, the example that I always give is Diet Coke, right? 40 rupee product in a can, you have it, I have it, as long as we are not averse to sugar. Anybody, doesn't matter what money you make, what strata you come from, what do you do? You're going to have that Diet Coke that is 40 rupees, you're going to get the same can that I'm going to get. It's a right pricing, it's a great product, and it's available any channel that you can find. That's
and the quality is consistent, right?
And the quality is consistent, right? So that's what, when it comes to 3 things, we think space in our case is distribution. How closely we can come to our customer base. That is for how many locations we have, right? Cost has to be daily pricing, which means it has to be frill-free. Now, obviously, you can't sell a single origin specialty coffee at $20 because your cost won't allow.
Right.
But not necessarily do it for $300 because I am taking away the frills of the space, AC, chandeliers away, right? So $100 is the price for that product. So it's daily predictable. And then your product is hygiene. So if I have to rank all of these, there is no ranking. I'll say there is a marriage between the 3 things
Very
that
smartly
comes
answered.
out together.
But don't you feel you have, when you compete with the other coffee chains who are raising big amount of funds, and do you sometimes feel left out?
I'll tell you where I feel left out, or where I have the urge to say, why not me, is we're very clear in the kind of format we build, right? So we always say anything which is above 200 square feet, right, which is 20 by 10 feet, we don't do it. We don't select a shop, right? We will probably, in our network of 94 locations that we have across Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, we'll have probably 3 locations which are more than 200 square feet. Rest of them are under, because that may just have been outside our control. Where do we feel left out is, where do, a lot of customers, maybe just like you, will probably come and say, Abhijeet, why don't you open a cafe?
Right.
And I'll sit down and think, why don't I open a cafe? Do I have the money constraint? No. Do I have the space constraint? No. Do I have the talent constraint? No. Do I have the product constraint? No. But then we say, that's not our model. We are experts or learning to do good in a particular format. And that format is to become habit, and you need those 3 things, and that can only be solved in this. So I don't want to be them. I want to be me. And that me will take time to build. So at that point in time, sometimes I feel I could do that, shayad wo behtar hoga, shayad ye achhi hai, but then the mind says, come back, focus, execute brutally, and that will probably help build a entire network that we're wanting to build. So looking at other companies, I don't even look at them as competition. Coming back to the direct answer, I look at them as peers. We're solving 2 different problems. Do we need a cafe and do we need a coffee? We need both. Because Ragini, if I and you have to sit down somewhere, have a cup of coffee and sit down for 2 hours, I'll probably not invite you to Up Coffee, because I won't have space to sit down with you for 2 hours.
Right.
The noise will not help you allow that. But if I am driving through, I'm walking through, I need to get a frill-free order, I need to get an order on my table right now, it's just easy proof. I'll just say order Up Coffee.
Order Up
Right?
Coffee,
So
right. So you have your
that's the
value
way.
proposition very identified very, very nicely, and you know what you want to do and you know what you don't want to do. But again, never say never.
Never say never, but obviously not cafe.
Not cafe, not now. We will look back to this podcast after 3 years and decide, and maybe Up Coffee might have a cafe. So now tell me, you have gone to 3 different cities. Which is your favorite city in terms of, and where do you feel is the most consumption power in India, where people love the taste, people come in, walk in, they don't have time, they pick up their cup of coffee and leave. Which is that particular city in India which is your most loved? And would you go to a tier 2 and tier 3 city, and when?
So I'll start with, I'm a big Bharat Bhakt. So, right, so all cities are my favorite.
Okay.
I live in Mumbai. So
That's a very diplomatic answer. Give me one name.
So I'll give an answer not from a business perspective, but
Okay.
personal perspective. I love the city of Mumbai. It's an infinite city. I think me and Farooq were just discussing about that a couple of moments ago. It's one of the cities that I believe has infinite possibilities. So I love Mumbai as a city. Now, when it comes to business, which city performs best as business for us today is again Mumbai.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Not Bangalore? I thought it would be Bangalore.
I know, it's very surprising, right? It's the most difficult real estate city in the country. It's most expensive in the country. Still, for us, Mumbai works better. There are several factors that we have realized why, and we decided to start with Mumbai. Not many retail companies decide to start from Mumbai.
Right, they don't. They start with Bangalore. They have the tech bros there.
Correct. For obvious reasons, right? But then we decided to start with Mumbai, and we operate now 52 locations in Mumbai. It's the highest network that we have across 3 cities. Bangalore, in fact, is the smallest at the moment. We just operate 12 stores. And we think Mumbai will take up to 200 locations in the next 12 to 18 months. And we're deploying 100 in the next 12 months in Mumbai.
Wow.
Right? So now, will we go to tier 2 cities? We will. But we think that as of now, we'll stick with metro. We'll build density. Like I remember if I said great product, right pricing, densification, which is distribution. So we'll go where we are. We'll carpet ourselves in the cities that we are present. We'll come closer to your home, to your office, to your leisure, and wherever you go, right? So we'll stick to that. And once coffee adoption starts going up, and that job, we leave it to our cafe friends.
Would Up Coffee be next to a cafe?
We are. Multiple locations.
In Bandra?
In Bandra as well.
And
we are in Khar, we are in Chapel Road, and there are 4 national brands right next to us in Chapel Road.
You were not scared?
Not at all. In fact, many locations that we are next to a cafe, we do more transactions in a day.
How do you count that? Do you sit there again, Abhijeet, and count the number of transactions that are happening?
I'll give you a hint. It's very easy. You go to any particular store, order anything, there'll be bill number written. The bill resets every day.
So you mentioned that you have opened in particular places wherein there are a lot of cafes. Do you think these cafes are scared of you, Abhijeet? The cafe owners? We won't take names. We've been asked not to.
I'll tell you a funny fact. Do we think that are they afraid of us? I don't see any reason to be afraid of us. But do we think that people have been mischievous in these acts? They have. I'll give you 2 examples.
Of course.
One of the largest coffee chains in the country comes with their leadership to one of our outlets. I'll not take names. Forgetting that there are cameras in the stores, starts talking to our baristas, trying to peep inside the counter, picking our tables and chairs and opening the screw to figure out what's the cost. This is 2023.
The cost of the tables and chairs. Why would they do that?
To figure out how are they operating in a low capex model and being able to actually sell a great quality product at the price that we do. This is 23. Just a couple of days back. Another chain. This is up and coming. They come up and they are just so curious to know about us that have been reaching everybody in the office to get insights into the company.
Okay.
Forgetting that abcoffee is a very close-knit ecosystem. We work as a very close-knit, high-performing individual, small team, but everybody is very mission-driven.
How big is your team?
70 people in the head office.
Okay.
Right? We will know about it. We will forget. So going back to your question, do we think that people are afraid? I don't see a reason why, and I don't think anybody should be. When we are running our own businesses, we need to be very confident on the things we are doing. So even when I said, when you took some other cafe names, I don't look at them as competition. I look at them as peers.
Right.
They're solving a problem. We are solving the problem. And those problems are different. Please get the people to get to your stores to sit down and have coffee. I will get people to drink more and more such that I get people to become a habit. 2 different problems in ecosystem. So I don't look at it that way. If people do, I can't solve for them.
Right. Now tell us about your unit economics. Are you net positive? Are you inching towards profitability? How does it work?
So at a store level, we generate more than 20% EBITDA, right? At a corporate level, we are yet to become corporate positive, but we are just 47 stores away to be corporate positive. So at a network level of around 150 locations, we will be that, and we are on the journey. We have demonstrated that, like year on year, financial 26, FY26 results will be out. Our EBITDAs have almost grown by 92% year on year, right?
Wow.
The revenues have grown more than 100% year on year. So we are very clear in the kind of model, the way unit economics is working, and we are continually doubling down on that aspect. And we're very clear when does the profitability comes in. We would be, to put in a way, I think we'd be one of the few venture-funded coffee companies should become net positive in less than 5 years.
Wow.
Right. And
if the investors are watching, you know where to invest next. Just putting a word for Abhijeet out there.
Thanks a lot, Ragini. So yeah, that's the answer.
When do you think that it's time to either shut down a store? What is the time that you give them? That when I was speaking to someone else, he told me that for a business to become profitable, we give them 22 months. If they are profitable in 22 months, it continues. Otherwise, we shut shop. Do you have that metric?
Yeah. So our stores typically, all the stores that we opened last year usually broke even in less than 2 months.
Okay. Less than 2 months?
Less than 2 months. Out of which 75% broke in the first month. Broke even in the first month, right? The ROIs, or in our industry, we call it paybacks, right? The last year average was around 12 months. Okay. So fundamentally, year on year, we have really improved the unit economics. Now, and we have learned also some of the hard lessons, of the easy lessons. Obviously, I will not put a very rosy picture to that, right? We have done mistakes, we have learned from it.
What are your top 3 mistakes, Abhijeet? That ye humne kiya yaar, if you are opening a coffee shop, don't do that.
पहली बात मैं बोलूँगा F&B का धंधा मत करो. It's the most difficult business, right? I always say to myself, to my team, I came from oil and gas. I consider that to be the most difficult business in the world. You are actually in the middle of the ocean, middle of the desert, trying to run some technology which you don't understand of A to Z. You're trying to make sense, right? 3 people, middle of the ocean. I thought, उससे ज़्यादा मुश्किल क्या होगा?
F&B उससे ज़्यादा मुश्किल है?
बहुत ज़्यादा. I thought वो कर लिया मैंने, इससे तो सब आसान ही होगा, right? But it was not. Because imagine, Ragini, we do around 3 lakh cups a month across 90 locations. We are talking about around 2 lakh customers ordering from 300 odd baristas from 90 odd locations in 3 different odd cities in 16 different odd cultural zones. in a month. And every single product is curated, is made for you, fresh. It's not a bottle product. It's not made in factory. This is all happening on the go for 16 to 18 hours a day. The margin for error is extremely little. I always say I am always living on the cliff, right? You're always on the cliff, and every customer is unique. I can't say Ragini is the same as Abhijeet and Abhijeet is the same as Shyam. Everybody is different. The kind of mood I enter a store to get a coffee or a matcha is extremely different that probably you would go, right? So we're always on the cliff. The margin for error is extremely limited. So my first advice is, I'll tell you the first advice is, think 100 million times that
before
to enter
you
the
start
business.
in F&B. But isn't it easy for you because you अपनी coffee भी India से procure करते हो? You have standards which are there for Indian companies. You have upheld that for your company. Won't it be easier? क्योंकि आपको export को कुछ करना नहीं, आपको import.
Easier to start a business.
Start a business.
Easy. Enter the barrier कुछ है ही नहीं. It's a very easy business to start and the best business to die, right? So that is what happens. So today we have around 5,700 odd franchise requests. We don't franchise.
Okay.
How do we get this?
How?
It's people like customers, probably for example you'll go to a store, you'll say, oh, I am seeing 100 people moving in and out. You'll take out your Google Lens, you'll Google Lens it, 3 lakh ka ye, 1 lakh ka ye, 4 lakh ka ye pankha laga, ye AC laga, 10 lakh rupees. I have 10 lakh rupees. Let's get the franchise.
पर आप नहीं देते हो.
We don't do.
Because
in India, we think we have to go a long way in terms of trust economy, right? And we think in order to build a brand here, we need to operate a couple of thousands of stores ourselves, and then we'll probably like to go.
And what is your best selling product in general? For me, it's matcha, of course. I've told you, I think my entire team has told you this multiple times, but what is the most favorite product that people come and pick up and go at Up?
Signature cold coffee is the best in the country. You know why?
It's the best in the country. Are you claiming that on Find Out with Ragini?
I'm claiming that. I'm confident. Nobody in the cafe segment, non-cafe segment, whosoever sells coffee has as much share of a signature cold coffee in their beverage mix as we do.
Why would you say that?
Because we put ice cream in it and we're proud of it, right? So most of the people who actually brew signature or cold coffee in various shapes and forms, if you ask anybody in the country, what's the number one SKU? They'll say cold coffee. But the percentages will be different. For us, signature cold coffee is a standout product.
Because you put ice cream in it.
We put ice cream, there is a thickness, there is a level of subtle sweetness, the vanilla adds really well with the coffee that we add. It's just brilliant. Most of the other players in the market would do different decoctions, would add frappe powder,
that's something that's so not what the customer wants. We don't want mango with everything and we don't want strawberry with everything. We want our coffee the way we have our coffee in the morning. Guys, experiments are good till a particular point of time, otherwise just give me my Americano. That is my drink, an Americano or a matcha. So I would just require that and not 100 other things that you put into it. Fair, amazing. So now tell me, because you do you only sell coffee? Have you started with savories as well?
We do savories. It's a small part of the business, but we do banana breads, croissants, chili cheese toast, Korean buns, etc.
So how do you increase your share when somebody comes to your store and you want to increase your cart value? So we know how we do it in e-commerce. You give buy one get one, or you introduce certain products which are at lesser price. How do you do it at Up Coffee?
Same ways, doesn't change. We don't have no offers if you walk into the store if you don't use an app. Okay. So there is no offline offers. On delivery, for at-home consumption, which is delivery, you will have different kind of offers on different days of the week. For out-of-home consumption, that is at our outlets. At the offline, if you go to the store and ask a barista, they won't be able to give you any discounts or offers, but everything is on the app. Now on the app, we act like e-commerce. There are ways of add-on, there are ways of food add-on, there are ways of increase in beverage size, these customizations to put in a way, other ways. We have BOGO offers, we have buy two get one offers, and every day there's a section in the app which says offer of the day, right? This is always leveraged for the consumer.
And how do you decide which product to launch? And are you like the taste maker of Up Coffee? Do you taste every product that is being sent out to the consumers?
100%. So why did we launch protein, for example, right? We launched protein in August 2025. We're the first company in the country to say protein can become your daily beverage, right? As of now, at that time, the habit was to buy tubs, right? Buy tubs and only work out, or the gym bros are going to buy it. We said India is a protein deficient country. We are not sufficient, right? As a country which has a lot of vegetarians, we don't consume. I myself is majorly vegetarian as well. I don't consume. I need to have 400 grams of paneer and 600 grams of dal to get 150 grams of protein. We said now a core protein at Up Coffee is 119 rupees, which is protein and water, right? Now you go on to buy a tub that will cost you 119 rupees for a shake.
So is it because protein was trending, or is it because it was actually a need the customers asked for protein in your coffee?
Fun fact, this is April 2025. One of the guys just tweeted, why does coffee not have protein? We give the entire credit to Mr. Chattopadhyay, who actually tweeted. We said, there is a
Listen to
need.
your customers.
And that's the best way in our business, right? So then we did a survey out there and we found there's a huge demand for protein. One thing we're very different with Ragini is, like you said, you want an Americano, you want a matcha, no question asked. What we also do is we absolutely don't judge people. If you like it, 2 espresso shots with 4 sugar sachets, please have it. If you want your cold coffee with mango, please have it. If you want vanilla with your matcha, please have it. We are nobody to tell you what's right, what's wrong. We'll get you what you want, the way you want, how you want to drink, because only Ragini knows what she likes.
What are some of the products that you launched but it miserably failed when you launched it on the stores? Does it happen? What percentage of it is what happens in the stores?
So it has happened, right? So one of the menu ranges we launched, I'll not say it failed, but definitely did not perform to what we expected, was coconut range.
Okay.
This is in 2023, right? So we got inspired from what has worked in the Southeast Asian and Chinese market, and coconut beverages sell a lot. So we ended up launching around 9 beverages in coconut milk. We still today have one of the best coconut milk in the market. It's just a singular supplier in the country. And if you haven't tried, please try it. It's phenomenal.
I will.
But then we tried that and we thought it will get a great uptake because it is what we see in Southeast Asian market. It works well. It did. Because we were not primed with coconut milk.
What does that mean, not primed with coconut milk?
Have you ever had coconut milk?
I've
It's a
had
beverage.
actually I've had it with Thai curry, only in my Thai curry.
Food.
Yeah, food, not
in
milk.
beverage.
Right, correct.
That's the problem. In Southeast Asia, coconut milk as a milk is common. In India, it's not. In India, vegan milk are right now, other alternate milks is what we are learning, drinking, almond, soy, oats. etc. Coconut is something that we have not gone to that extent yet. So that is what did not work out. That was one of the ranges that didn't work out. There could be plenty other. In food, we have tried a couple of items that just we were so bullish on it. Well, it just didn't.
So gut feeling is not something that always works. It's what the customer wants.
100%. Sometimes gut feeling is phenomenal, like the protein. Customer wanted, but there was a stronger gut feeling. Why is there a space left so open, right? Abhijeet travels to Delhi. Why can't he have a protein shake? Why does he have to carry a bag? And where does he get the shaker? Where does he mix? Those problems were unsolved. So consumer plus gut made a phenomenal breakthrough.
And I read on your LinkedIn that you're actually, in your app, you're actually giving the nutritional value of products, right? What made you do that? Because that is not something that you would see in a coffee subscription app. You wouldn't see the nutritional value of what you're drinking, but that's, I think, is a very smart move, and it's a very consumer friendly move because they then know what they're consuming, which I don't think people would want to tell, especially in India, considering marketing here is not regulated and everybody is drinking sugar and it's free. What made you decide that you want to be honest to your customers?
Ragini, what is there to hide? It's food and beverage business. It's food that you're eating. You are the decision maker. What do I hide? I remember I was in one of the conferences and somebody asked me, what happens if your recipe leaks out? I said, I'll share the recipe with you. You tell me a beverage name, I'll give you the recipe. What will you do with the recipe? You probably are working out. You know my chest workout schedule. You want my chest workout schedule? These are the exercises. Please do it. You have to do it for yourself. So we fundamentally believe there's nothing to hide in this business, right? You could see most of the outlets that you will go, it's a 60 square feet work area where you could peep through every single thing. You could see what ice cream it is, what milk it is, what scoop it is, everything. We just don't hide. We use whey protein and one yeast protein, 2 largest national brands in that. Please ask the barista, they're going to show you the packet. We don't hide. And we just did not only display the nutritional values, Ragini. We have a nutritional calculator in the abcoffee app, which means if you even eat a biryani from anywhere, you can log it on the abcoffee app. We're just not like, I'm going to sell you, this is what is in your food. We're saying, this is what is in your food. This is clean. And now you can track it, what you had in your entire day. You can track your BMR, you can track your BMI, that's like any fitness app. And you can track whatever you have had in the day on the abcoffee app.
What made you think of this? This is a very interesting take on selling coffee. Again, I just keep getting surprised, Abhijeet, by your intelligence and what you're doing with UpCoffee, because I've not seen brands do that. See, we have standalone apps who I actually go and log in my nutritional whatever I've eaten in the day to actually count my protein intake. I'm also a vegetarian, so I reckon with that. But what made you think that this is something that, is it because it is going to be more sticky for the consumers? Is it the stickiness factor that you wanted to play on?
We are the daily habit brand. I want to be in your lifestyle every single day. And what is the best way? I'm serving you food and beverage. And I'm your daily habit. I have to be of use. And I have to be clean. And I have to be useful. All of these just led to the thing that why don't you simply have a nutritional calculator where Ragini will probably come on one single app and can log in everything that she had from everywhere. No food company has ever done this because probably, I don't know for what the reasons what they have, but I think in our core business, it's a habit business, there's nothing to hide. So these were the reasons why we said just integrate it all together. The next version of nutritional calculator is even going to be smarter. I can't reveal it as of today and we'll love to do it once it's live. But it's rather getting deeper into your health angle, right? Because what's the biggest source of health? It's what you consume.
Right.
If you can actually track that, there's nothing better. And that's what we're trying to do.
So now you're actually a tech-enabled company. You're just not a coffee company, because that's I think that's very rare, right? People do call themselves as a tech company. There is no tech involved. You are a tech-enabled company. Was that the thought behind putting the nutritional calculator, or is it like, no, this is something that customer needs to know?
So tech is in the base, right? Like I said, tech has to be of use. It just can't be a facelift. I don't want to say I'm a coffee company who has an app, and if the app is not used. For me, the app serves a lot of purposes, right? Now, if app is serving a lot of purposes for me, to give you an example, it reduces the staff at the store because people are ordering and my staff is not punching orders, saves time, right? Saves the bottom line, helps the corporate EBITDA. Now, for the consumer also, it has to be of help, not just ordering. That is where the nutritional calculator comes in. And again, it's less of tech in this, but more of usefulness and solving with common sense, Ragini. Is it useful? I use it every single day. And if I use it and I see 10 other people using it, I think it's of sense. Will 150,000 customers use it? Maybe not, because not everybody wants to do that. But if, let's say, even 1,000 wants to use it, I want to be of that help to the person.
Do you check the NPS also? Do you check the App Store reviews and ratings of your product?
100%.
All the time?
Every week.
What is the first metric that you see when you wake up?
Orders yesterday. Second is NPS. So second, NPS I can't see every day. So I look at complaints ratio, how many complaints have come in. First thing is orders. Did my orders move? And how did it move by clusters? Second thing is your complaints. Every week I look at NPS across, and we compare NPS with 4 other national brands. And we have to be on the top. And we have been consistently on the top.
I did see the reviews and ratings of UpCoffee, and 4.6, 4.7. Mostly it was 4.9, so it's consistent, and overall people have loved it. So I think great job for you and your team in building this. Now, tell me, you mentioned about oat and almond and coconut milk that you had introduced, and they are just not alternative milk now in India, right? They have sort of become the go-to for Indian consumers. Did it surprise you? See, it might be happening in metros, you never know, but when you go to tier 2, tier 3 cities, do you feel that it will have the same result?
So I think Ragini, it's, when I look at it, like you said, I was surprised with the consumption, right? I think almost 35 to 40% of our milk consumption is alternate milk. It's not dairy. And will it happen in tier 2? I strongly believe it will, because more and more people are now realizing that the lactose intolerance is not a myth, right? And as we are getting aware of that because of our health lifestyle, as we age and as we go through different air, environment, consumption, we understand that certain things are not meant for us, right? So I think that growth in awareness in education has held us people aware that there's certain kind of milk that will probably work for you. And I don't think it's just a metro phenomena. It's a entire ecosystem phenomena.
So
and
the ecosystem that you mentioned, right? You do curate a lot of wellness events also. You become a part of these wellness events. Does it make a difference in consumption, or is it more of a educating customers who come do wellness events and then drink UpCoffee?
Oh, it's a great customer acquisition platform.
It is?
We have done large collaborations with brands like Tera, brands like The Body Shop. We have recently done with Somewhere, which is a spinning
Classes,
on the yacht. We recently did one spinning in Carter Road near the beach, near the seashore. We do plenty of these, and it's a great awareness, but a great customer reach
Acquisition.
out, right? So because like if you remember, I said we don't do a lot of top of funnel brand marketing.
Right.
We want to be off use. We want to be consumed. We want to be in your hands. So we do such activities where I can engage with my customer base, and that's where the customer acquisition or awareness happens.
Do you think that is why you changed your branding also? Because I remember, I mean, it's such a starking, and I'm wearing Up Coffee colors. The branding is something which is seen from far. Like, hello, why are there green mugs in everyone's hand? Because it was previously not the same, right? What made you change this entire branding for Up Coffee, and how important is branding for any F&B business?
Funny fact, the clothes that you're wearing has two colors.
Right. Up Coffee has?
So beige is the older Up Coffee color.
Right.
Green is the newer Up Coffee color. Coincidentally, you have the past and the present and the future. So I'll give you a very honest thing on this. When I started Up Coffee, I didn't come from a brand angle. So among entire business ecosystem, the least time that was spent was on brand. So the colors, the logo, I didn't focus as much.
When you started it?
When we started, right? So which means we did it based on inputs, based on understanding and things around it. So 2.5 years down the line, we said there needs to be a serious rethink to our consumer base. How will they remember? And what is the biggest brand asset for a brand like ours? Is the cup, is the bag, right? So we want to be out loud there. We want to be in your hand. We want to be seen. We want to be recognized. We want to be felt. And then we did an NPS survey, and we realized 54% of our consumer base is aged under 25. 52% of our consumer base overall are women, which means it's a younger crowd that we speak a lot to, hence, and it has to stay relevant for at least a decade, right? So these were the data points that we looked at, and we said, how do we now, become creative about it? And that's when we went all in and we created the new brand logo, the new brand colors.
Why green?
It's neon,
Okay.
fluorescent. It's young, and it gives you a feeling of environmental friendly. It's a feel-good color, right? And it's young, as I said. Combining all of these factors, you just come out, and never before us, any F&B brand had experimented neon green. You'll find dark green, you'll find different shades of green, because they are more mature color bases, pastel, and these all become younger color bases. We were very clear, this is our TG, this is what I want to do. Green solves these categories, resonates well with ours, and we want to be out loud there. Okay. I think after we did the rebranding, I could see a sea of brands
doing rebranding?
Rebranding in our color. I know 3 tech brands who is our color. I know a delivery company which is our color.
Will you take names?
I will avoid that. I think the easiest way is just go on to ChatGPT, put this logo with our name and say, give me the brand names, and you'll find all the brand logo changes has happened in the last 1.5 years.
So now tell me, we want to introduce investor section in Fynd Out With Ragini. This section involves you pitching to the investors directly on our show. Okay, so my first question to you would be, say a competitor comes in and opens their outlet right next to Up Coffee. Same model. What is Abhijeet going to do then?
Has it happened? Yes. Will it happen? Yes. Will it continue to happen? Forever. Are we the first coffee company to do this? No. Will we be the last coffee company to do this? No. Now, these are all understood, stated facts. Coming to what Abhijeet will do is simple. We'll continue to do the exact same thing that we are doing. Our biggest strength is our tech play, right? Let's say Ragini puts up a coffee store. I sell cappuccino for 97. You put up a store next to me, start selling for 87. My subscription will be for 50 rupees. But Ragini has to drink 20 cups. And Ragini doesn't need to come to Marol to drink that cup. Ragini can drink from a network of 52 locations in Mumbai, can pick up from anywhere. Can Ragini drink 50 cups at a 50 rupee? 20 cups at a 50 bucks? Yes. What will you choose? Us. Because you get surety, you get consistency, you get a network, you get great product every time, 20 times. What I'll do is I'll just do my tech play. Will I ever go and stop them? No. And it's a very easy business to start. 10 lakh rupees to start a business. Every Tom, Dick and Harry can go out there and start, but they will always be singular. Where it gets difficult is to scale. Can they scale to tens of locations? It's an extremely different story because scaling here needs process, tech, supply chain, mindset, going into finer details and to solve those problems and overall make a structure around it. It's like aviation, solving like aviation. There are different small buckets to it. Nobody knows what
is going to happen next.
But everybody's just filling checklists. And the next guy is trusting the checklist of the other guy. And it just works flawlessly. That is what we
That
look
is how
at.
abcoffee wins from all the competitors.
I mean, wins, not wins, I think the time will tell. But that's what we are trying to do. And we will continue to do that.
So now if you have to raise funds, you have to go back, right? You raise funds in 2024. Now if you want to raise funds in 2026, what is your investor pitch going to be?
We are the number one grab and go coffee company. There is no nearest number two. We have an order frequency on subscriptions for 17 coffees a month. We are doing more than 20% EBITDA in the first 4 years. Has a customer retention of M3 at 35%.
Where should I write my check on?
Find me any other coffee company, Ragini, near to this. So it's not a pitch, it's just facts.
Top 3 reasons you can become a 1,000 crore company and how soon can you become a 1,000 crore company?
So we are envisioning 10,000 crore.
By?
2035. But 1,000 crore company will be by 2028, 29.
Top 3 reasons we should invest in a company which is going as strong as yours?
Habit. It's not about a product play, it's the habit play. When you're in habit play, you're talking about frequency, you're talking about densification. Number 2, proven product market fit across 90 plus locations. It's no more a myth, it's established category. Number 3, look at me and look at my team. There's nobody better who can execute this better.
You're very confident about your product, aren't you?
100%.
And what's the biggest myth about the coffee businesses in India? Something even smart investors get wrong.
They think coffee is about the chandeliers. Coffee is
I think you got a laugh from everyone.
I think people think coffee is about chandeliers. The cooler you are, the better you are. Unfortunately, I think a lot of people think it may want to rethink it that coffee is a habit product. It's a product business. It's not a table and a chair business. If it's a table and chair business, you better be thinking like a fine dining restaurant, not like a QSR coffee business. So I think that is a serious rethink that needs to happen. And which kind of businesses will get to scale? A format like ours or a format like a cafe? They're beautiful businesses, a couple of 100 crores, a couple of 100 outlets. This is a couple of 1,000 crores, a couple of 1,000 outlets. Scale is your point of view.
What happens if Luckin comes to India?
Will be a fun competition. I think that would be the first competition that I'll look at. And I'll be very excited to look at them. But the funny fact is, there cannot be anybody better than an Indian to understand India market and to solve for India. And that's what we are. For any other company from any other country to come to India and try to solve for India, it's extremely difficult. And the best example is the top 2 global QSR, the biggest 2 Indian QSR brands are not Indian, it's American, McDonald's and Domino's. In 25 years, the biggest scale they have reached is 2,700 outlets and 900 outlets. It's difficult. If I spend 25 years and I am 2,500 outlets, I'll be relooking what have I done in the last 25 years. So I don't think it will be easy.
Are you
for anybody
questioning their business model?
I am not. I'm just saying it's just easier and better for Indians to solve for India. And India and China are not the same. Do we relate very closely to China? Yes, more than the US. But is India same as China? No. Just the population doesn't solve for everything. And I think there's no better person than me and you to solve for the country. And I think pretty deep rooted to it.
What happens if the largest, in terms of revenue, American coffee company comes and wants to buy up coffee? What does Abhijeet say?
We're not out there for in the market to sell.
You want the company to outlast you?
100%. That's the beautiful of the business we are in. It's a cash-in business. If you build it right, build it strong, build it focused, build it for forever. I always envision in my lifetime, I see a barista becoming the CEO of the company. That's my long-term goal for the company. That will be a proud moment for me, that I have been able to really achieve a company where the first person, the first job in the company becomes the leader of the company. I love to see that day.
Wow.
Not out there to sell, for sure.
Rapid fire round now with Abhijeet. Okay, India will always be a chai first country.
Nostalgic about chai, functional about coffee.
So is it a myth or a fact?
Good one. Fact.
People care more about price than quality in coffee. Myth or fact? And why would you say that?
No, I don't think so. Not anymore. As long as the price is priced sufficiently, I don't think people only value price.
Starbucks is a brand play, not a coffee play.
No comments.
Location matters more than product in F&B.
There's a marriage between the two.
Loyalty in coffee doesn't exist.
Oh, it does. It's the most sticky product in the world.
Protein coffee is just a trend.
Not at all. It's the future.
Q-commerce will reduce offline coffee demand.
Quick commerce won't. At-home consumption and out-of-home consumption will balance out itself.
You have to go premium to scale in coffee.
Not at all. We have to go right product, right price everywhere.
So now tell me, last two questions I have, Abhijeet, for you before we wrap it up. Traditionally, we had Nescafe at home. कोई घर पे आता था. Coffee was literally a drink जब भी बनती थी जब घर पे बहुत सारे लोग आते थे. तो वो coffee को फेंटते थे, चीनी डालते थे, and still happens, right? You make that. It's very nostalgic on how you have coffee at home. And now we have been introduced to the cappuccinos and lattes and macchiatos of the world. You're fighting with a Nescafe sachet right now. If you had to, abcoffee. Where does abcoffee stand? And how does abcoffee enter the Indian home ecosystem where a middle class person is ordering abcoffee instead of making one fatty coffee at home?
So, Ragini, first of all, it doesn't matter medium class, upper middle class, HNIs, everybody's ordering up coffee today because we're making that quality and price marriage in distribution. Why average in middle class family in Assam is not ordering is because we have not yet opened in Assam. The day we do, he'll also. So instant coffee is coffee brewed today, dehydrated, crystallized, add with chicory, bottled, to be had a year later.
Right.
It's not fresh, not even fresh.
It's not instant.
It's instant.
The products are not instant. The ingredients there are not instant.
Yeah, but it's like if I have a burger today and I freeze it, will you have it a year later?
No.
But how come are you having instant coffee? It's the same thing.
It's not, right? The ingredients are different. You have your
The same coffee.
chemicals in that
No,
you
but
can have
the
a
thought
year
process
later.
is the same, right? So, for example, if this is a cup of coffee, I'll brew it, I'll dehydrate it, I'll crystallize it, and I'll pack it. It's like a frozen burger, right? I make the burger, freeze it, and I'll give you a year later. There's a very different consumer base. Will I ever be able to fight on price with this coffee? No, because it's substandard, low quality, adulterated, and old, right? It's a very different consumer base. Fresh coffee is roasted beans, brought to you in front of you, grinded, brewed, put it up in your cup, right? So in the longer time frame, we'll win. In order to do that, again, we have to do the three things. Right product, right price, distributed anywhere and everywhere where we are.
And
located.
educate the customers about this. See, I had no clue how instant coffees work. You educated me on the same. So I think education also is important.
100%. It is important. And I think as disposable income in the country goes up, people will move from a not so good quality or a product to a good and a better quality product. And India has been seeing that trend, right? We have moved out from breads having maida and
to healthy protein breads right now.
Healthy protein bread. We have gone from some products which was sold to me as a child as an additive to milk. I'll not take again the brand names, which was sold. It's a very healthy drink, but it used to have a lot of sugar in it, sold as a healthy product for children. Now we are moving away from that and saying healthy products are healthy products, doesn't need to have sugar. I think that awareness is growing up, and people like me and you, when you're already a parent, I'll probably become in a few years. When I do, I'll make sure that my child doesn't go in that particular path. And I think eventually knowledge will go up. We will be a player in terms of educating our customer base, and people will also educate themselves. And also, as the disposable income goes up, the fresh coffee consumption will grow up. In the longer run, it will be up coffee.
Okay. 10 years from now, when someone tells the story of how coffee became a daily habit in India, what role do you want Up Coffee to have played in that story?
We are the thought leader, we are the pioneer, we are the category creator.
Abhijeet is Up Coffee.
No.
Then?
Abhijeet is one of the parents of Up Coffee, who's making the revolution, like you said, 20 years later, when India drinks coffee a lot and becomes a functional and becomes the Bharat that probably we both are dreaming of. Up Coffee is one of the pioneers to make that happen.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Abhijeet, for being here on Find Out with Ragini. I have my eyes open in terms of how you have run this company, your vision, your prowess, you sitting there and counting the bills, the subscription model. For me, most importantly, the nutritional part of it was very exciting. So wish you all the best and thank you so much for being here on Find Out with Ragini. And that is the wrap on Find Out with Ragini. And I have to say, we have been paying for coffee all wrong. We grow some of the best coffee in the world right here in India. So why were we paying $340 for a cappuccino? Simple. We were never paying for the coffee. We were paying for the sofa. Abhijeet figured that out and now he's doing 3 lakh cups a month at 1/10 of the cost. The big chains, they have been walking into his outlets trying to reverse engineer how he is doing it. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe and stay tuned to Find Out with Ragini.